Good to Know, Pinellas County's presentation on the programs and services provided by your county. I'm your host, Alexis Sargent of Pinellas County Communications Department. Did you know that Pinellas County has thousands of volunteers who donate countless hours of their time to the county every year? The county offers over 100 volunteer opportunities and provides staff to assist you in becoming a volunteer in Pinellas, or what we like to call our VIPs. To tell us more about the VIP program and the volunteer opportunities here in the county, we welcome Mary Quam, Pinellas County Volunteer Services Manager. Mary, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm excited to get started. The volunteers are such a huge part here in the county. So will you tell us about our VIPs and the VIP experience?
Well, our VIPs are absolutely invaluable to us. The county runs with the volunteers, and we have them all over the place, from the county parks to Heritage Village to our downtown offices. Volunteer Services even has volunteers working for us, so we have them everywhere. We have something for everyone. And we try to take the best care of them that we can, because we want it to be a happy experience. We want them to interact with staff and to attend our get-togethers. And the fun thing for them is that as they work and get to know other volunteers, they become friends and end up doing things, socially together. So
I will say it's easy to see how volunteer services and the staff here at Pinellas County truly goes the extra mile to include the volunteers as part of the staff and as part of the county.
We do, and most of the departments around the county do that as well. We have some departments that have maybe 1 or 2 volunteers, and some that have hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. Just simply depends where they are and what they want to do.
So everyone has different interests. Some people like the outdoors, some people like being inside or at a desk. Will you talk to me about the different opportunities there are out there?
Well, when they register to be a volunteer, they, one of the parts they go through is an application, and they tell us what their interests are. We go through that, and then when we call them back, we kind of dig a little deeper into what they want to do. If it's really beaches that they're interested in versus a park, we're going to gear them toward one of the Pinellas County beaches. If it's outdoors, one of our parks that's close to home. We want them to be a good experience, but we don't want them to have it to drive an hour to get there either. So we try to make it as convenient for them as possible. If they want to be indoors, there's plenty of indoor places as well. There's Animal Services, Heritage Village, the Botanical Gardens, Extension Services, and of course our downtown offices and all our offices around the county.
So if I'm interested in volunteering, but I'm not sure what I'm interested in, I would contact Volunteer Services, and then they would be able to match me up with a position.
Absolutely. We would help you through that, help you narrow it down and find a good fit for you. And oftentimes, once we listen to the potential volunteer and really find out what their interest is, so oftentimes something goes off in my head that says, oh, I just heard this from this department, and we end up creating a volunteer position for that individual that fits what they want to do, because we've been notified that there's a need within the county for something special, and that happens more times than I can say.
And what about the time commitment?
We have some volunteers that volunteer 40 hours a week. Volunteering has become their life. Usually that is a retired volunteer, so it can be daily, weekly, monthly. It's just all over the board. And also for special events. We have a lot of partners that the county works with too. So we have cleanups going on basically every weekend, where you get together a group of volunteers that collect anywhere from hundreds to thousands of pounds of trash almost every single week around the county.
And it seems that many of your positions are very flexible in understanding that our volunteers are donating their time to us.
Well, that's just it. They are donating their time, and we try to be very respectful of that. They're not on our time, we're on theirs. So we want to be flexible, because, they are giving away their time. And so it's really all about them. So that's why we want to make it as nice as we can, make the experience as good as they can, because if they have a good experience, they're going to tell their family, they're going to tell a friend, and that's the best recruitment tool for new Pinellas County volunteers that I could ask for, is the current volunteers out there talking about their experience. And it's nice to hear all the success stories and all the positive comments and stuff that we have. It's a great place to work, and it's a great place to volunteer.
Yeah, our volunteers are fantastic. They're always so pleasant when you see them.
They are. Well, they're happy because they're doing something they want to do. They're in a place they want to be. They're enjoying it. That makes anybody happy if you enjoy what you do.
I agree. And so what if I get started in one volunteer position and I decide that's not the right fit for me? Am I allowed to switch over to a different one?
Absolutely. You know, there are times when you think you want to do something, you start doing and go, oh, you know, this really isn't what I thought it was. Of course you can switch, and we will work with you in any way that we can to make that happen. It's not, you know, unusual for volunteers to volunteer in multiple locations. We have quite a few of them. We have a courthouse ambassador volunteer who also volunteers at the airport because he just enjoys that interaction with citizens and also, you know, tourists coming and going every single day. So he's a professional volunteer who volunteers 5 days a week, and we have a lot of those.
And we also, there's many mutual benefits to our volunteers, from students to those who are retired, and those just looking for an extra way to use their hobby in a good way to help the community. Will you talk about the mutual benefits of volunteering?
Sure. Well, for the students, the mutual benefit is that we get a need filled and they get a need filled because they're trying to work off class credits or do what is referred to as college community service. They have to do so many volunteer service hours based on what kind of accreditation they're trying to get. And that can range from 25 hours to several hundred hours. Your other volunteers are doing it to get acquainted with the community and to make new friends, because we have a lot of people when they retire, they move down here, and oftentimes they're starting over. So volunteering is a great way for them to get to know their county, but also to meet new friends and to get, you know, acquainted.
You have some great events throughout the year too
We
for
do.
our volunteers to bond.
We do. We really try to spoil our volunteers with the events. We do regional events, which is based on the county, North County, Mid County, and South County. And then during National Volunteer Week in April, we do a county-wide volunteer event. And I change locations on that every year. We've done it at Extension, we've done it at the Armed Forces History Museum. Last year we did it at Winters the Dolphin Tale exhibit in downtown Clearwater. And this year we're going on a cruise. So we do our best to make our volunteers happy and make them feel like they're wanted.
I will say you and your staff go above and beyond to give our volunteers that big thank you. And it's how important it is of how far a thank you goes for a volunteer.
It does, and I appreciate that feedback.
And will you talk about some of the other perks of being a volunteer, the Milestone Awards?
Sure. As a volunteer, we like to keep you motivated, to keep your volunteer hours going. So we have what we call little volunteer gifts, little milestones. And they start at 40 hours and they go up to 1,000 hours. And can range anything from a baseball cap to a NOAA weather band radio to a carry-on suitcase, binoculars, watches. You know, we try to give them a nice variety of gifts that keep them going, keep them interested. But it's also, you know, the interaction that they have with their site coordinators and the other volunteers. I think that's the real force behind keeping long-term volunteers, is what they're getting out of it while they're working on site. Not so much what we may do in-house, but you know, what they're getting from their experience every day.
Yeah, they feel like part of the team here in Pinellas County. And that's very important for us.
We have some volunteers that have been with us 30 years.
Wow, 30 years.
30 years.
That's a career.
That is a career. That's a retirement career.
Wow.
And the ages range from, you know, 15 to mid-80s, depending on where they are. So, yeah.
And if I was interested in volunteering, how could I get started?
It's pretty easy. Go to pinellascounty.org/volunteer, and that will bring up the Volunteer Services homepage. And from there, you can look at all the various opportunities. Go to the left and click on Join the Team, fill out the application, take the online orientation. That then comes to us, and we will go through it. What a staff member will go through an initial interview with you to kind of narrow down what it is you really want to do. Get in contact with the site coordinator, who then will call the volunteer candidate, and they sometimes will do a phone interview or they'll have them come in, and your volunteer experience basically begins then. So we try to make it as easy as we can.
And it's a very quick process to get started.
It's a very quick process, yes.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Mary. I appreciate it, and it was wonderful talking to you about our tremendous volunteers here in Pinellas County.
Yes, they mean the world to us.
And if you would like to see a repeat of this presentation, visit pinellascounty.org/eSeries. And if you would like more information on volunteering Pinellas, visit pinellascounty.org/volunteer. And if you have any questions about today's topic, be sure to email them to communications-media1@pinellascounty.org, and we will get back to you. Join us again for the next Good to Know right here on PCC TV.